Okay, I want to make a quick video. It's July 13th, 2026. Okay, so basically, I feel like when people think in America, not everybody, but when people think about homeless people, they think that like every homeless person has mental health problems, um, some type of problem with alcohol or drugs or something like that. And that is a percentage of homeless people. But there's another group of homeless people that you almost never hear about. Like people that work for the government know about it, but the average, like regular person, civilian that lives in America rarely, if ever, hears about this. You have homeless people, and on social media, like whenever, like for the most part, whenever I see, I'm not saying there's not exceptions, but whenever I see people like social media influencers giving away money to homeless people, it's always a homeless person that like is like covered in dirt, drinking, smoking, just looks like, like a stereotypical homeless person. But what I wanted to talk about in this video is there's tons of homeless people that blend in with everybody else, that if you look at them, you wouldn't even know that they're homeless. They that's it. So I don't want to get too deep into it right now. I like to just make some videos, put out some ideas. Listen, use this information at your own risk. This is my opinion. I respect everyone's opinion. I never respond to negative comments. I don't leave negative comments. I don't argue with people on social media. I don't care. But there's tons of homeless people out there that, maybe they're working part time from around minimum wage. They can't afford to get an apartment because they don't have the credit or whatever. They're spending the little money that they have just on food or just living day to day. And you know another thing is like people think that, like, not everybody, but people think like someone who's like on receives welfare or public assistance, whatever you want to call it, like people like don't want to work and the government's just giving them money and they're just sitting around doing nothing. It's not like that. If you're receiving welfare or public assistance in New York City, you have to jump through. There's somebody. Whenever I make videos, there's always someone yelling or blasting music. You have to jump through a lot of hoops. Like there's a lot of requirements to receive welfare or public assistance in New York City. Believe me, they're not just handing over the money. At least not what I've seen. You have to. There's all kinds of requirements. There's constant interaction. Um, there's a lot of requirements. So hopefully, anybody listening to this, you never find out about it, directly. But anyway, I just wanted to say, like, whenever I see social media, and like I said, there's always exceptions to the rule. I'm not saying every single person, but for the most part, whenever I see a social media influencer giving money to a homeless person, it's always like a stereotypical homeless person. It's never like a homeless person that's just like is working, is going to school, is being productive, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't have a criminal record, doesn't do anything illegal, is just homeless. They just, don't have enough money, don't have the credit, whatever. But there are tons of homeless people that blend in, and that number is growing all the time. And another reason why I think that the stereotypical homeless person, well, I'll save that for next video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.